Though will be dry, high near 71 degrees.
All right, joining us now with facts about fat is nutritionist Pat Baird. And Pat, you know, over the years we hear so many differing types of advice. You know, what kinds of fats are okay. We know that olive oil is good for you, right? We know we've heard about that. But there's other sorts of fats that aren't as bad for us, right? Or can be good for us.
Absolutely. And there are, just as you said, there have been changes over the years, and there are more coming. We've talked about it not long ago. We did a preview on the dietary guidelines that are coming out at the end of the year. The dietary guidelines are right in line with the new guidelines from the American Heart Association that basically say focus on the type of fat rather than the amount of fat. And so much of that science and that thinking comes from the Mediterranean diet. That showed they eat far more fat than we do, and yet their rates of heart disease are so much lower. That's when we started seeing all the news about olive oil, unsaturated, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated. So let's do a little Facts 101. Okay. The danger is that saturated fat, saturated things solid, butter, cheese, that white marble invisible fat, they tend to raise blood cholesterol levels, accumulate in the arteries, and contribute to heart disease, stroke,
all the bad stuff,
death. And unsaturated are liquid at room temperature. So you think your plant oils, olive oil, soybean oil, canola oil, spreads, and these do not raise blood cholesterol levels, and in some cases they lower it.
Interesting. Okay.
So, and actually, we were talking about this. Another confusing point to your question about margarine is we virtually don't see margarine anymore.
Yeah, I was noticing that myself. You go to the store and you don't see the, you know, years ago, the sticks of margarine.
That's right.
Yeah.
You see these tubs or containers of spreads, buttery spreads, like Country Crock, because they are made with fewer ingredients. They are made with soybean oil, canola oil, and they're far less saturated. So when we actually go to the supermarket or come to the table, this is some practical advice of how to make those choices. All right, so it means that on your bagel in the morning, you want to use a spread. And by the way, you can use these spreads in cooking.
I have used them before. Some of them are pretty good.
I'm a big fan of making these mini muffins. They're fun to make with kids, but those monster muffins are loaded with calories, fat, and sugar. One or two of these is really going to satisfy somebody's sweet craving, and if you use a spread to make it, you're even improving the nutritional profile.
Is it equal if it calls for a tablespoon of butter? Is it a tablespoon of spread?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you choose meat, there's no forbidden foods. Nobody's saying become a vegetarian. Choose lean meats. This happens to be extra lean. Wonderful pork has got great nutrients, good source of thiamine, just a thin layer of fat around the side. You want to avoid steaks and chops that have lots of white, what we call marbling running through them, but perfectly healthy, very good choices. Last point is read the label.
We've got to go in just a few seconds.
And that's the best. You will see total fat, saturated fat.
People all across America are tired